Hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Clarissa. I put out new pick a card readings every week, and as you can tell by the title of this video, this week's pick a card reading is focused on me hyping you up, me gassing you up, me literally being your hype woman and reminding you of all the things that make you amazing, beautiful, fantastic, the things that make you stand out, and just reminding you to appreciate those things about yourself. I feel like we can easily become like our own worst critic, and like put ourselves down too much when really we need to be loving and appreciating ourselves, lifting ourselves up, and doing that for the people around us. So I want to be that for you today. So that is what we're gonna do. I just have a couple of little side notes here as usual. My dog is in the room with me during the course of this recording, at least for now, for the time being. So if you hear snoring, rustling in the background, I will do my best to speak clearly into the microphone, so that's not an issue. But you know, I can't do much about having a noisy French bulldog. So anyway, you may hear him in the background, as well as I have a fan running. It's like really hot in this room today, so I even like had to close the blinds because it was just making it even more unbearably hot. So yeah, if you hear that in the background too, again, my apologies. Hopefully it just serves as some white noise for us. So anyway, for today's reading, we have 3 different piles. This is pile number 1, 2, and 3. For pile number 1, we have this lovely opalite heart crystal for you. And then for pile number 2, we have this light heat oh my gosh, I can't talk. Light heat treated citrine. That's what I was trying to say. So this is your crystal for today for my pile number 2s. And then for my pile number 3s, we have this beautiful carnelian. So I will give you a moment now to pause the video if you need to, meditate on which pile you're the most drawn to. For today's reading, I don't think it would be wrong for you to pick more than one pile. As you know, with all of us, you are a multifaceted being, and so there may be more than one message that you need to hear today, and that's perfectly fine. I will let you be the judge of that. When you do decide which pile it is that you're the most drawn to, you can then go to the description box down below where each timestamp is next to the corresponding pile. So then you can click on the timestamp and go directly to your reading for today. So anyway, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you shortly in your reading. Hi there, pile number 1. As a reminder, if you picked this beautiful opalite heart crystal, then this is your reading for today in regard to me hyping you up. So what do I need to be hyping you up about, gassing you up about, making you feel good about? What qualities of yours are beautiful and noteworthy and, you know, shine and are fantastic? So all the good things about you today, pile number 1. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. Just as a reminder here though, again, in case you didn't listen to everything from the intro video, my dog is in here right now, so you may hear him snoring or like moving around in the background. I will do my best to speak directly into the microphone, so hopefully you just pick me up and not him in the background. And then I also do have a fan running behind me as well because it's like really ungodly hot in this room today for some reason. So yeah, just so you guys are aware. But let's go ahead and get into your reading today. Also, sorry, ADHD brain, guys. If you've been watching me for a while, you already know this, so my apologies. But I am also wanting to do a book divination for you guys today because I really enjoyed it the last time that I did it. I thought it was fun and just kind of added like an extra layer to the reading for you to like finish it off with. So we're going to be using the Serenity book by F.S. Yusuf today for the book divination at the end of the reading. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So starting you off here we got The Mountain for you and Anima Mundi, and I really want to read you the book's passage in regard to Anima Mundi, because I think that they do it a lot better justice than I can in terms of explaining it, and I think that it may be important for a lot of you guys to hear this, so I want to read it to you directly. Let's pull this out here real quick. Okay. So, Anima Mundi, the soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. It also says in here, Anima Mundi is the energy behind the world card in the tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness, and embrace. And the embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. So with you guys getting this card and with the mountain, I feel like what Spirit is saying to me is that you guys have this beautiful light, like this beautiful life force within you. I think that for a lot of you, you may have even like grown up as children feeling like you had a greater purpose in this world, feeling like there was more to life than just the day-to-day mundane activities. And not to say that those are bad, but I just feel like you guys have always thought there was more out there for you. And I think that from a young age as well, you really recognized that we are all, let me turn this so you can kind of see this card a little bit better, because it was upside down. But I think that you guys from a very young age realized that we are all one. We are all so similar, even with our differences. We're all important, we all matter. And I think that you're somebody that from a very young age had a lot of difficulty trying to understand like things that have happened in American history, for instance, like slavery, like segregation, separation of people, the demonizing of certain groups of people. I get the feeling that you're somebody that really believes that we are all inherently valuable and that we all have our inherent places in this world, and you just really don't tolerate like bigotry, racism, divide of any kind, because to you it's nonsensical when we're all human beings. We all matter, we're all important, and there are none of us that are lesser than anyone else. And I think that that's something you've known your whole life. I think that that is something that you came into this world already knowing, and that's why you've had such a hard time with our world in general, because it is so, our world can be so focused on the exterior value of an individual, what they look like, what they present as opposed to, you know, the value of somebody's internal world and who they actually are on the inside. And I think that you're somebody that's really good at tapping into who people really are. Like, you are not interested at all in the surface level of things. You're interested in the depth of people. You're interested in getting to know people on a very deep level. Like, you're the type of person, I feel like, that even, you know, growing up as a kid, as a teenager, you had multiple different friend groups of people. You kind of just fit in everywhere because you see people as people first. You don't see them as the labels that society or themselves put onto them, right? You just see them as who they are, and you don't judge people based off of their outward appearance, but more so based off of who they actually are on the inside, what kind of person they are. And I think that's really beautiful, pile number one, because that's something that not a lot of people know how to do, even by the time they get to be like 90 years old, let alone when they're a child, to understand that there really is no divide between any of us. It's all these imaginary divides that we put on to ourselves as like a species. When we're all just people, we all bleed, we all hurt, we all experience pain and trauma and happiness, and we experience everything, right? And I think that you're somebody that's seen that from a very young age. Like, you could very well be like a true empath, as opposed to somebody that like became highly sensitive due to trauma. You could actually be like an empath, and you've always been able to see the other perspective, see things from someone else's point of view, and try to come to an understanding with somebody. But I also feel like from a young age, you've learned something that, you know, even I'm still trying to learn and work through as an adult, which is, you know, people are going to have their own beliefs and their own ideas about things, and we can't always change their minds, and that's okay. All we can do is share our perspective and share who we are, and then other people, you know, may see that we do things a certain way and be like, you know, that's really cool, I actually want to be more like that person. So you guys are very, like, I just get the sense that, you know, you've reincarnated a lot of times. This is not your first lifetime, this is not your first rodeo, and you just have a lot of wisdom and light to offer the world. Like, you guys are really cool. Like, I'm literally just getting like chills thinking about it, like tearing up thinking about how loving and accepting you really are. And I think that you need to maybe bestow more of that love and acceptance upon yourself, because I think that you're very loving and accepting of other people. And so if you're somebody listening to this reading right now that is very hard on themselves, I would really, really, really urge you to show yourself some of the love and kindness and compassion that you show other people, because I think that you have a beautiful spirit, a beautiful heart, and I think that you give so much of that away to other people and don't save a lot for yourself. And I think it's really important for you to do that. Especially with the mountain coming up here too. To me, it's like really interesting because obviously like mountains are these big, beautiful structures that, you know, formed over hundreds of thousands of years. And I live in Colorado, I've mentioned this before, and the mountains will never cease to amaze me with their beauty, their magnificence, and just like, I don't know, for me what it is thinking about how many people have crossed these mountains, how many people have conquered these mountains, how many people have been here in the same exact spot that I'm in right now. And even after like we as a species are no longer existent on this planet, it's just like crazy to think that the mountains have been here before us and they'll be here well after us. You know what I mean? It's like really kind of cool when you think about it like that. And yeah, the mountains are just like these awe-striking, like geographical formations. And I really think that Spirit is saying that you are too. You're somebody that is awe-striking to a lot of people. And I don't think you realize that about yourself. I think that you really downplay your own beauty, your own magnificence, and you are beautiful and strong and magnificent as well, pile number one. But it's interesting because if you'll see here with the card, we have like a person, and it looks like they're kind of like on the inside of the mountain, and we kind of have to remember that the beauty of the mountains isn't just exterior, it is internal as well. And just because like the outside is beautiful and magnificent doesn't mean that the inside isn't twice as beautiful and magnificent. And you know, that's where like we have all of our beautiful precious stones and like rock formations, and you know, this is where the beautiful things come from, like even, you know, gold and stuff like come from the mountains. And I think that this is Spirit's way of like reminding you as well that you aren't simply your exterior features either. Because I get the sense that some of you may be very hard on yourself for your physical external features or the way that, you know, other people perceive you even, and you are so beautiful and precious internally, and you really need to hold on to that more and appreciate that more about yourself, because I think that you are such a beautiful person and you have so much insight to give other people, and Spirit wants you to remember that, you know, your beauty is internal as well. While you are beautiful and magnificent, glorious on the outside, you are 10 times as beautiful internally. And I really think that, you know, just like the mountains, people are drawn to you for not only your beautiful exterior, but like for who you are internally and for the things that you have to offer. And I think that you get so wrapped up in your own flaws and your own like problems that you have a hard time seeing that other people see you that way. It's like, you know, the law of the universe that what we put out is, you know, given back to us, like reciprocity kind of, right? And you put out so much beautiful energy into the world, and you truly love and accept other people for who they are. And so you need to understand that ultimately other people love and accept you for who you are as well. And if you are around people currently that don't do that, Spirit's saying you need to get rid of those people because they don't deserve to have you in their presence. Honestly, pile number one, like, you are so beautiful. And I hope that you can start to understand, maybe with this reading or whatever, like I hope that this reaches the right people that need to understand how much beauty and light they have to give to the world, because you're one of those freaking people, pile number one. And I think that you really need to give yourself the love, compassion, grace, kindness that you give to other people so you can fully flourish and really like inhibit anima mundi and, you know, not inhibit, but exemplify anima mundi and really allow that light to shine for the rest of the world to see. But yeah, I think that you guys are beautiful. I could go on and on just with these two cards all day, so let's go ahead and not let me do that, and we'll get into your tarot cards. Let me take a drink here real quick. Okay, so for your tarot we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Wands, we have the World, we have the Two of Swords, we have the Sun. I'm gonna have to like stand up and make sure that we're not all the way out of focus here with your cards. I'm gonna have to move this over a little bit. And then we have the Star for you guys. Let me pull these down just a smidge. Make sure we're still in the camera angle. Oh yeah, perfect. It's like wanting to focus on the candle so bad. I don't understand why. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. All right, sorry about that, pile number one. I wanted to say two. Anyway, sorry about that, you guys. Let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards here. So Spirit's really gassing you guys up. Like, you guys are really beautiful and amazing, and I really hope that you guys already know that about yourself, and this is just like a reaffirmation of that if you don't, like, you really need to spend some time looking in the mirror, you guys, because you're incredible. You need to spend some time really appreciating yourself because you have a lot to offer this world. Can I just say too that I think it's really funny that Anima Mundi came out here and the World came out here, and it said that they have the same energy in the archetype book that we were reading, about how, you know, essentially, again, you have this ability to see everybody as like being a part of the human race or the collective consciousness, and you really are exemplifying the universe's love by doing that. I hope you understand that. Like, there are so many people that are hateful of other people for no reason. I mean, that's one thing that kills me about being on TikTok sometimes, is like the hateful stuff that will come up with like Karens, or just mean people being mean to other people because of their ethnicity, because of their skin tone, because of the way that they look, dress, act, whatever. And you just aren't like that at all, pile number one. Like, I really don't see you guys as being like that at all. Again, you put a lot more value on who a person is, and I really do feel like you guys aren't judgmental of other people at all either. Like, you really don't judge other people. You judge yourself hella hard, but you do not judge other people. And that is so beautiful. There are so few people in this world that don't place judgment onto other people, and you really truly do not. And I think that that is like one of your most beautiful qualities, pile number one. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of your cards here, because we've really touched on Anima Mundi and the world, I feel like, enough. This is just more affirmation from Spirit that you guys are incredible. With the King of Pentacles here, I get the feeling, again, like I was saying earlier, that you're very wise. You have a lot of wisdom to impart on other people, and you're very open about sharing it. Like, you are the type of person that, again, you don't pass judgment on people, you don't give unsolicited advice to people, but if someone comes to you genuinely wanting your support, wanting your advice, wanting your opinion, you tell them exactly like what needs to be said, and you're honest with them, but you do it in such a charismatic way. What I mean by that is you're not overly harsh, you're not rude, you're not judgmental. Again, like I said, you're just very much so factual based. Like, okay, this is my opinion, this is what I think, and that's just what it is. And I'm not explaining this well. I'm really not explaining this well, but you just are somebody that someone can come to for advice and feel very comfortable doing so, because you're not going to pass judgment on them. You're not going to make them like belittle them, make them feel bad. You're not the type of person that if you gave someone advice either and they didn't take it, that you would say, I told you so. You'd be very supportive, very kind, very nurturing, and very loving, and just be like, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody messes up. You're not stupid. You're not a failure. You're not this and that. And I think that's something that other people see in you that you really don't see about yourself, pile number one, that you're really good about giving advice in a neutral way, where you don't bring your own judgments and your own projections into people when you're giving them advice. And I think that's really beautiful. Also, with the Nine of Wands showing up here, you guys are a little spicy, you're a little fiery. You have a lot of drive that maybe people don't really see on the surface, but you are willing to go the distance. Like, literally, I'm hearing in my head the Hercules song, the I can go the distance. I'm like not even blanking on the rest of the lyrics, but if you watch Hercules, you know what I mean. I'm on my way, I can go the distance. I don't have a good singing voice, so anyway, look it up. But anyway, you guys are that type of person that can really go the distance with the things that you're wanting to accomplish. And it's like that sly fieriness is what I'm picking up on. Like, you're the type of person that you will really put your all into something, but you don't need like other people to validate you in doing so. Like, I really feel like you're the type of person that would be like, you'd be in casual conversation with some friends, for instance, and everybody would be talking about their lives, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I actually started like a little side hustle business, and I made like $10,000 last month. That was really cool. So I'm gonna go on vacation. I've got this like really cool vacation planned. Like, not that you're trying to hide things from other people, but it's more so like you never want to like overly boast about yourself, and it's okay to like be a little boastful about yourself, like not in like an arrogant way, but it's okay to like hype yourself up even a little bit and be like, I worked really hard for this, or I really put in a lot of time and effort for this, and it paid off for me, and blah blah blah. So anyway, I really do see that you're somebody that you go when you put yourself into something, like your passions into something, you really can go for a long time. Like, you have a lot of dedication towards that thing, and you're not afraid of hard work and the effort that it takes to get where you want to, so you can succeed. With the Two of Swords coming up here, it's actually interesting. So this card, excuse me guys, I'm like all stuffy today. But anyway, this card is very much so about making decisions, right? And the thing that's interesting to me about this deck is it's almost like the crows in the picture, or in the card, I mean, are like antagonizing this girl, right? Like, they seem to be like all up in her face and antagonizing her, and it's like they're trying to get her to make a decision about something, because the twos are about us making a decision. And it's almost like she's just ignoring them, remaining calm, and trying to decide, like, weigh her options and decide what it is that she wants to do for herself. The Two of Swords is actually represented by Moon in Libra, and as a Moon in Libra here, you're very good at weighing your options, seeing things from all sides and angles. And the thing is that I want you to remember with this card coming out here is you ultimately know what's best for you. You ultimately know what decisions are best for you to make for yourself, okay? And I know that because, again, the way the card is depicted here, we have these crows that are antagonizing her, and like a lot of the time that can make people feel uneasy when they're being antagonized or they're being rushed by other people, to the point where they'll be rushed into making a decision that may not suit them in the long run. And you need to hold on to the fact that you ultimately know what's best for yourself. If you need to weigh your options, that is totally fine, but you don't need to seek approval or validation or confirmation from people outside of you, because you have all of the answers within yourself. And you are really good at balancing logic and intuition when it comes to making a decision, better than most people are. So just continue to do that, and don't let yourself be swayed by society to think that one is more important than the other, because intuition is just as valuable as our logical mind can be. And sometimes we have to lean a little bit more toward our intuition, because our logical brain may be telling us that's a stupid idea, but you in your gut know it's a good idea for you. And that's what I mean by ultimately you have the answers and you know what's best for you. So hang on to that. With the sun coming out here, this is again just confirmation, I feel like, from Spirit, that you have so much to offer the world. You are bright and beautiful, and you have so much light to bring into this world. And you know, we already got that here with the Anima Mundi, and we got it with the mountain. And it's like you really need to allow who you are on the inside to shine, and you need to allow yourself the kindness that you allow other people, because you are a beautiful person. Like, I keep saying it, but it's 1,000% true. Pile number one, you guys are beautiful people, okay? You are beautiful people, and you need to be able to validate yourself and who you are, so that your light can come out and shine for everyone else, okay? Because your light is so beautiful. This world needs you, all right? This world needs you. It needs people like you. And you need to hold on to that. Don't allow society, other people to harden you. I also feel like there is like a childlike aspect here, where you may be somebody that believes in magic and believes in miracles, and like just that beautiful things can happen to you. And I think that you should always continue to believe that, because I think that's where a lot of your light and beauty comes from, is that childlike innocence that you have at times, especially with the star coming out here, which is ultimately about us holding on to hope. And I think that you do that with other people, with humanity, and you know, with everything. I think that this plays into the sun so well, because it's like you hold on to this childlike wonder, and it gives you hope. It allows you to see the beauty in the world that other people may not see. And I think that you're just very optimistic, and I think it's beautiful that you're so optimistic, even with how harsh the world can be, with how terrible humanity can be. You don't let those things get to you. You prefer to see the good. And it's not that you're ignoring the bad, it's just that you prefer to spin things and be like, okay, you know, that was really bad, that happened, that was really bad, but what did I learn from that? Or what can I do differently next time? Or, you know, whatever. It's like you get what I'm saying. It's like you just are really good at putting a positive spin onto things. You're just very optimistic and bright, and yeah, I'm very happy like reading for you. I feel like your energy is just very happy and bubbly and lighthearted and just beautiful. Like your soul just glows. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of your oracle cards here, and then again we'll get into the book divination. I'm just gonna take another drink here. Okay, a little ASMR maybe for you. I don't know how well you can hear me swallowing, but anyway. Okay, so for the rest of your cards here, we have stimulation, we have chilly, and we have deep freeze. And then we have for you look for fairies, and we have connect with the earth. Okay, so these two cards here were the cards that you saw at the beginning that were part of like your pile that you were seeing in the beginning. And these are from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck. And with these cards in particular, I was asking Spirit, what can you do to better take care of yourself and like hone your beautiful qualities that you have, and to really be able to see like your own beauty, and like better manifest and develop self-love. So we'll get into those cards here in a minute, but first let's look at these two. So we got stimulation for you, which is represented by the chili, and it's represented by Aries. And so I think that this is like the fiery nature we were tapping into here with the Nine of Wands. Maybe some of you have just like a little bit of fire placement in your chart, like maybe you're a fire Mars, or you know, you just have like one fire sign in like your inner planets in astrology, and it just gives you that little bit of edge, right? And I think that this is coming out just to remind you again that you are beautiful, you are unique, and just like spice, you're not for everyone, and that's okay. Don't allow like this beautiful gift that you have here with the Two of Swords and your ability to see things from all perspectives. Don't allow people to take advantage of you for that, to where you become like a people pleaser, because you're not here to please anybody. You're here to live your most beautiful, authentic representation of your life for you. And I think that this is just a reminder from Spirit to be spicy, be that pepper that somebody doesn't like, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean you have to be a bad person to get them to not like you, but you're not going to be for everyone, and that is okay. Just continue to be your authentic self and share your light for other people. And honestly, like, that's all any of us can do, but hold on to that, okay? And you know, Aries is all about being an individualistic person. What works for me? How can I get ahead? What do I need to do for myself? And it's not a selfish energy. It's just like that young, headstrong energy. Aries gets stuff done, okay? So be like Aries. Get stuff done for you that you want to get stuff done. With deep freeze coming up here, I think that this is just pointing out your ability to, again, know what you need more than anybody else does. So I think that Spirit is just really wanting you to recognize when your body is asking for rest, when you're needing downtime, to honor that and give it to yourself. Don't feel like you have to work yourself to the bone. Sometimes it's okay to take a beat, rest, take a pause, and then get back up with more energy and more excitement towards the things that we're wanting to accomplish. And I think that you are good at that for the most part, but for a lot of you, I am hearing that it is a reminder to take that beat, take that breath when you need to. Don't overextend yourself. It's okay to protect yourself and protect your energy. So continue to do that, pile number one. And then with our last two cards here, with Look for Fairies and Connect with the Earth, I think that Spirit's reminding us here too, again, like I said, with the Sun card, which does illuminate like us having a beautiful sense of wonder like our inner child does. Look for Fairies is really just reminding you to see the magic in your life, see the magic and the beauty in the everyday, and know that your life is magical. Your life is beautiful, and we can't see fairies if we don't believe in them, right? So it's kind of that same ideology of, if you don't believe your life is magical, if you don't believe your life is beautiful, then it's not. But if you can see the beauty and the magic and if you can see the beauty and the magic in the everyday activities of everyday life, that is the very best way for you guys to live. And it allows you to then tap into that beautiful childlike sense of wonder that you have, that helps you be creative and fiery and passionate and driven, and will ultimately allow you to shine your light for the world to see. With Connect with Earth here, I think that really, like with both of these, because they're like very naturey, and obviously like fairies exist outside in nature, it's just really important for you guys to get outside every once in a while. And like with the mountain card coming up here, if you live near the mountains, go hiking. If you live anywhere close to a beautiful area outdoors, go outside more, connect with the earth, ground, whatever it is that you need to do. But it is nice to go outside and sit and even just meditate. Put your feet on the ground, let earth heal you, let yourself connect with her. But yeah, I think that nature, like you guys connecting with nature, period, is like going to be very important for you in terms of you being able to get into touch with yourself better and realizing just how beautiful, amazing, magnificent you guys are, pile number one. So before I forget, let's go ahead and do your book divination here and see what other information Spirit has for you, what other messages. I like to kind of just loosen up the pages here, and then we'll do that a couple times. Okay. All right, so we'll read Sufficient here. Sufficient. My body is slowly becoming what it used to be, rebuilding bones precisely with fragments of past trauma and a hopeful future. A holy vessel, one I must take care of now more than ever. When your unsolicited words strike my skin, they become dust, the kind you see in the air in between the rays of sunshine that disappear as your day goes on. Almost an afterthought. Your words do not affect me, nor will they, for I have already filled my body with enough air that I don't find myself gasping for a sliver of yours. Ooh, I got the chills there at the end, pile number one. That is the piece that I feel like is so important for you guys. Your words do not affect me, nor will they, for I have already filled my body with enough air that I don't find myself gasping for a sliver of yours. That's powerful shit right there, pile number one. You guys are beautiful. You are incredible. You are amazing. This world is so much better because you are here. And don't freaking forget it, pile number one. You are magnificent. Your body, who you are beautiful. And if somebody does not appreciate you, oh well. Let their words, let the things that they say dust off of your skin like the dust in between the air, like this was saying, and screw them, because you are amazing, pile number one. And I really hope that this message touched you, that you truly feel how beautiful you are. And don't freaking forget it. Like, I'm literally telling you, like, do not forget how beautiful you guys are, because you are here to make a difference. You are here to be a beautiful ray of sunshine, and other people will try to diminish your light, but do not let them, because all that matters is what you think about yourself at the end of the day. So I'm going to leave it there for you guys, pile number 1. I love you so much. I could just say that you're beautiful a million times because you are. And I really hope that you know that about yourself. And if you didn't, then I hope that it's something that you start to say to yourself and practice daily after this reading. But anyway, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. If this resonated for you, please leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach as many people as possible. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week, and I love you, and I really hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next Pick a Card reading. Thank you. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. As a reminder, if you picked the light heat treated citrine, then this is your reading this week. And again, this reading is all about me gassing you up, hyping you up, reminding you about all the things that make you beautiful, special, unique, what it is that what it is about you that lights up the rest of the world, okay? Something that's very important that maybe you don't even realize about yourself, but Spirit really wants you to be gassed up for. So that's what we're here for today. Just so that you guys are aware, in case you didn't listen to the intro, the entire intro of this video, my dog actually left the room for your reading, so lucky you. So you won't hear snoring in the background for your reading, but you may hear my fan going in the background here. It's really hot in here today, so I had to whip out the fan and I had to close the blinds. That's why I've got the streaky lines today too from the blinds being closed. It's too hot for me today. I just can't do it. So anyway, just so you guys are aware about that. And then one other thing that I forgot to mention to you that I want to do for your reading today is read you a passage from the Serenity book by F.S. Yusuf. So last time I did book divination, I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to do that again today and just incorporate it at the end of your reading as our final message from Spirit. So anyway, we'll do that at the end, but let's go ahead and get into your reading today, guys. So starting you off here, we got for you guys the Shadow and the Prayer. Now, I think it's really interesting that we got both of these cards, honestly. I feel like the Shadow is coming out for you guys because I think that you guys are very introspective, very, very deep, and you think about your shadow aspect, your dark aspects, more than other people would ever even acknowledge them. I think that for quite some time in your life, and maybe even still now, you've had a lot of issue with the darker parts of who you are with your shadow aspects. Again, it's if something comes up that you don't want to think about, you're oh God, not that at all. Let's get away from that. Let's not think about that. And to be honest, I think that at some point, or maybe even still currently, some of you went through a level of that, a level of what I would refer to as spiritual bypassing, where you want to only look at the positive, only look at the good. But the thing that we fail to acknowledge about the shadow is that a shadow can only exist if there is light, if there is a light source, right? If there is a sun, if there is brightness. And so something to keep in mind for you guys, pile number 2, is that we all have shadow aspects. I think that you are just more cognizant of yours than other people are, because I think you're very introspective. I think that you spend a lot of time in your head. You think about a lot of things that other people don't even give a second thought to. And I think that because of that, you can be very hard on yourself, and Spirit is wanting you to know that your ability to see yourself for who you truly are is so beautiful, so unique. It's not something everyone can do. Like I said, there are people who never think twice about their childhood trauma, never think twice about these aspects that they have about themselves, and why they may be there, because let's be real, we all have shadow aspects for a reason. They're all there for a reason. And I think especially with the prayer coming out here, which to me, prayer is, obviously if you're religious. Prayer can be you actually like praying to God, or, you know, kneeling, spending time praying to God. But to me, prayer is very much so about like meditation, very much so about being present with yourself and who you really are. And I think that you guys are really good at that. I think that you really do know what your shadow aspects are and why they are there. And if you don't yet know, it's something that I would highly encourage you to start discovering. Start reading self-help books, start going to therapy, because it's really important, I think, for you in this lifetime in particular to tap into what your darkness is, what your shadows are, like what your inner demons are, and starting to heal those things, starting to work through those things. While our shadows will probably always be there and, you know, we can't just get rid of them, it's like acknowledging and accepting that they are there, but also understanding that those things don't make you a bad person. You are still a good person. It's more so, I feel like, when we don't acknowledge those things, and by us not acknowledging it, does it harm other people, that means we, you know, really need to work on that shit. But I think that Spirit is really acknowledging here just how deep, introspective, and thoughtful you are. And I think that Spirit loves to connect with you when you are in a deep state of prayer, a deep state of meditation, because you do a lot of inner reflection when you're doing those things. And again, I think that you do it more so than other people even do. And I think that you have a really, truly beautiful mind, pile number 2. And I think because of this, you have such a deeper level of empathy and compassion for other people than someone else may. And I think it is because you spend so much time in your head, and you have spent a lot of time beating yourself up for your shadow aspects, for your darker aspects of yourself. And really, Spirit wants you to know that it's okay to love and embrace who you are fully. You don't have to exclude those pieces of yourself because they may be pieces that you don't like. We all have aspects about ourselves that we don't like. I want to read you actually just a little excerpt here on the shadow. I believe it has a piece in here where it asks you, I got this card not that long ago for myself, so that's why I'm saying this, because I looked it up, because I like to look at the meanings of the cards and like kind of derive my own interpretation of like why this is coming up for myself. So I'd like to pull it up for you guys just because I felt like there was a really helpful piece in here. Yes, okay. It says in here, in the shadow of the gods are the very gods themselves. Reflect on this statement by James Hillman in A Blue Fire. What do you despise about yourself? By answering, you move toward shadow. So again, it's like really asking, what do I not like about myself? And you understanding like that is your shadow aspect that you may not like about yourself, but why is it that you don't like that part about yourself? What is it that makes you hate that part about yourself so much? Why can't you understand that part of yourself, show yourself love and compassion in that area? And again, I think that for the vast majority of you, this is something that you have done before, and you've kind of already been to and done like that shadow work, right? Done that deep inner work that was necessary for you. And I think it's something that obviously you'll continue to work on throughout your lifetime. But you guys, like, I really don't think you understand how powerful you are and how beautiful it is that you have already started healing some of those things, started working on some of those things, started healing your relationship that you have, and like your idea that you have toward this darkness, toward your shadows, toward your inner demons. Because again, like, there are so many people in life that don't even give don't even give a quarter of the amount of thought that you have put into like your inner world. So Spirit is really commending you for that, you guys, and I don't think that you give yourself enough credit for it. So like, really give yourself credit for like how far you've come and how much you've worked on yourself, how much you've improved. It's hard work. Shadow work is hard work. Really, really asking yourself what you don't like about yourself, that is hard work. So you really need to like give yourself a pat on the back. Like, I'm serious. You really need to show yourself some love and appreciation for doing that work, because it's very important for you. And again, there's so many people that don't even begin to scratch the surface of how deep I feel like you've gone. Continue to meditate, continue to spend time in prayer, whatever that means for you. This is really, really important for you to continue to access the inner workings of your mind and your inner world and your darkness that you may have. It's very important for you to continue doing these things, pile number 2. So continue meditating, sitting in prayer, continue doing those things. Let's go ahead and move on to your tarot cards here now, pile number 2. Let's see what you got here, okay? So, I think they're technically this way. Nope. Sorry, I know that you guys didn't get any reversals because I didn't have any reversals shuffled into the deck today, so yeah. So we have Page of Swords for you. We have Ace of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Cups. Very interesting how we've got like yellow gold theme going here. Maybe that's like very significant for you, but that really does highlight like consciousness, okay? So really like highlighting your mind, your inner world. We have the 3 of Swords. We have the Queen of Cups. And finally we have the 6 of Cups. Okay, pile number 2. So again, I feel like Page of Swords is coming out here because you guys have a very deep inner mind. You have a lot of thoughts going all of the time, like a lot of bright ideas. And I think that maybe for some of your like shadow work, shadow aspects may have been around your feelings of worthiness, your feelings of self-confidence as well. And I just really want to say this may be only for a couple of you that need to hear it, but your ideas are there for a reason. You have very bright, like different ideas than anybody else does. And you have the ability to create whatever it is you want in this lifetime. But you have to believe in yourself and the ideas that come about for you. So I think that was just important for maybe a couple of you to hear. But you're like full of ideas. I feel like you are somebody that like reads a lot, has a lot of knowledge. Maybe for a lot of you, you have already done a lot of this like self-help work that we were talking about in the beginning. And you've just got like a plethora of knowledge from doing that because you've read a lot of books, you've garnered a lot of different information. And I think that you're somebody even that maybe you get a lot of intuitive hits through reading and writing. So maybe pay attention to that. But yeah, I think that you just have a very active mind and you spend a lot of time in your head, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you just have a lot of ideas and you have a lot of different avenues that you could take in your life. So yeah, just I would say about that, especially with the Ace of Pentacles coming up here, to just make sure that you're passionate about the ideas that you're wanting to plant and seed. Because, that's essentially what we've got here with the Ace of Pentacles, is that you have all of this opportunity in your life. And I think especially after working through a lot of the darkness, a lot of the heaviness, you have so much potential. There's so many things that you can do with your life, in your life. And really all that you have to do is just take one of these ideas and run with it, plant it, and work on allowing it to grow and come into fruition. So it's essentially that idea of reaping what you sow. I couldn't think of it for some reason, but I think that you're somebody that really embodies that, because we also have here Nine of Cups, which can be interpreted as like a wish coming true. I really do like to interpret it though as like you are somebody that is very generous, very giving of yourself, of your time, of the things that you have, and it brings you a lot of joy to do that. Like, I really feel like you shine when you're giving to other people. And you may even be the people that, you may even be the person that is helping plant ideas for others and helping their ideas come to fruition. Because you are somebody that, again, is full of a lot of knowledge and just, you love to help. You love to share your ideas with other people. And you're so generous that that's what you really enjoy doing. Like, you have this huge generosity of spirit is what I'm feeling here. And I really do think that you give a lot of yourself to other people. And I think that is one of the things that spirit really sees in you, and that spirit like wants to give back to you for, because you will do anything to help others. You are continually like trying to help those that you love and help them create the realities that they want to, help them, formulate ideas and a plan to like plant the seeds that they're wanting to eventually harvest. So I think that's really beautiful, pile number 2. There's so many people that love to gatekeep and love to, not help other people when they very well could. And I feel like you do it just out of the goodness of your heart. Like, you don't expect much from people in return. You just do it because you want to see other people succeed. You want to see other people be happy. And I think that you literally are that friend that when like somebody has a big milestone, a big success, like they come to you first because you're so genuinely excited for them. You are so genuinely happy for them. And that's so beautiful, pile number 2. For you to be that kind of person, that kind of friend that other people know you never have any malicious or ill intent towards. Like, you truly do not feel any like jealousy when other people succeed. You're just happy for them. And for you, it really just helps you see that if they can accomplish their dreams, so can you. So it's just like affirmation for you. Whenever you see people accomplishing these big, crazy, magical goals, you're like, wow, if they can do it, so can I. Like, that's beautiful that they were able to do that. Like, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. Like, let's celebrate you. And I think that you're that friend that would easily like have a party or whatever for somebody that gets like a promotion or starts a business or whatever, just because you really do genuinely love to celebrate other people's successes and accomplishments. With the 3 of Swords coming up here, pile number 2, this card can be seen as such a negative card in tarot. I really feel like this is just pointing out to the fact that it's really important for you in your lifetime, and a lot of you, I feel like, have already kind of done this, especially with doing shadow work, but really understanding how much our thoughts can affect our emotions and how much our emotions can affect our thoughts. And how this can create a negative environment within our head and really damage our mental health when we don't have the ability to check our thoughts when they're coming into place. And I think that you were once somebody that got very previously lost in your own shadow work. Well, not shadow work, but I mean in your own shadow. Like, you would be very harsh on yourself and very like mean to yourself for like for you having these shadow aspects to begin with. And I think that this is something that you have worked on and that you've gotten a lot better with, pile number 2. But like, I think spirit just really wants you to know that like, you don't have to be so freaking hard on yourself. You don't have to be so mean to yourself. Like, you are by far your worst critic. Other people do not see you in the same light that you see yourself. And it's really important for you to understand that it's okay to give yourself some grace and some love and some compassion for things that maybe you've done in your past that you aren't proud of, or for things that you still aren't proud of, like in terms of your shadow self. Like, this to me very much so could be exemplifying like your shadow self screaming for attention, screaming to be recognized. And it's okay to recognize them. It's okay to show them love and compassion and acceptance. It's okay to come to terms with the dark parts of who you are. And I think that for a lot of you, you've already done this. But if you haven't and you're still struggling with this, Spirit's reminding you to be kind to yourself, to be loving to yourself, be gentle, and don't be so negative and be so hurtful, because it really affects everything. It affects your mental health, it affects your emotional state, it affects everything for you. And I feel like you're somebody that you can spiral very easily. So what I mean by that is, like, one bad thought could come up that spirals you into like a depressive, anxious cycle for like months. So just, if that's the case for you, be very cognizant of that, be aware of that, and really check yourself when you're being too harsh on yourself, is what I really think Spirit wants you to know, because I don't think you give yourself enough credit just for how beautiful and amazing you really are, and for all of the work that you've done. It's like you have one bad thought sometimes, pile number 2, and you think, God, I thought that I moved past that, I thought I was healed. And I just want you to know that it's okay if things come up and trigger you, but you see progress when it's like, okay, how bad would that have triggered me 5 years ago versus now? And the fact that I'm even able to recognize that this is a trigger of mine, like, that's huge. That is so much growth, pile number 2. So be gentle with yourself, okay? With the Queen of Cups coming up here, I feel like you guys are very intuitive, okay? You guys get a lot of intuitive hits, and I think it is because you do spend a good amount of time. Like, to me, even, it almost looks like the Queen of Cups is like praying or meditating in this card, like in this illustration. And I think that you guys get a lot of intuitive hits when you're spending time with yourself, you're being reflective, and you are maybe spending some time in prayer, spending some time journaling, spending some time, you know, doing what it is that allows you to connect with yourself. The Queen of Cups ultimately is someone that is very connected with her emotions and doesn't allow other people's perception of intuition to cloud her intuitive judgments. So you are very much so somebody that may make decisions that are more like gut-based, more intuitive-based, and that's perfectly fine, because I think that that's meant for you. Because I think that you understand better than most people do how important intuition really can be in telling us how we feel about something, or giving us, you know, insight into a situation. I've mentioned this before, but there's literally a book called The Gift of Fear, and the whole book is about how essentially, like, you know, different people got out of different, like, scary, sketchy situations because they listened to that intuitive feeling that they had of fear. And it may have seemed so illogical to other people, like, why were you afraid in that situation? But it just goes to show that, like, our instincts, our intuition can tell us a lot more than our logical mind can sometimes, and it can pick up on things that our logical mind cannot see or cannot understand, and there's nothing wrong with that. Also, there's nothing wrong with you being well in touch with your emotions. Maybe for some of you, a shadow aspect for you may have been your sensitive side. Maybe you were shamed for being sensitive, for being, you know, empathic, or being compassionate, or just being very highly sensitive to other people and the way that they feel. And I want you to know, pile number 2, that your, like, Spirit sees this as a beautiful thing. Spirit sees your ability to be sensitive to other people, compassionate towards other people, as one of your biggest strengths. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not a strength. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then with the 6 of Cups here, again, I feel like we're just touching on the fact here that you're very good at reminiscing. You're very good at thinking about everything. Like, you really do sometimes live in your mind, and you are kind of a sucker for nostalgia, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful to be able to remember the beautiful pieces of our past, but don't let yourself get stuck in constantly worrying about the past or the future. Sometimes it's okay to live presently in the now. And ultimately too, like, this card does represent Sun in Scorpio. Some of you may have Scorpio in the sun in your birth chart, or you could have Scorpio placements. But I think that this is really just pointing to how introspective you really are. And also, like, it can be telling us to connect more with, like, our inner child. So maybe for some of you, you need to do some inner child work. Maybe you need to connect more with people in your life that have been there for you since you were a child, people that, you know, you still connect with to this day. So whether that be grandparents, parents, siblings, anybody that you still feel connected to in your life that may have been there when you were a child, to kind of, you know, help you tap back into that childlike wonder. Sometimes when we go to familiar places or around familiar people, we can tap back into those memories a little bit easier. Let me take a drink of water here, pile number 2, and then we'll get into the rest of your oracle cards here. Okay. So, we also have for you guys fertility, and we have moonlight. And then these are the cards you probably recognize from the pile selection. These are from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck. And with these, I really just wanted to get more information from Spirit about what you can do to remind yourself how beautiful you are, how special you are, how you can provide yourself with self-love and care, and what you need so that you're able to better see just how incredible you are, pile number 2. So we got for you make a vision board, and we got family. So we'll go over those in a minute. Let's look at fertility and moonlight for now. So fertility is, again, a lot about reaping what we sow, right? So I think that this really goes hand in hand here with the Ace of Pentacles, as a reminder for you that in this lifetime, you know, we reap what we sow, and so do other people. And it's like more than valid for you to take some of these like wonderful ideas that you have and try and make them into let me backtrack here just a second. Take some of these wonderful ideas and plant them, and see what becomes of them. You don't have to just like constantly keep all of your ideas to yourself in your head. I promise you, the right people that are that are supposed to be involved with these ideas will come about for you. And the people that really truly love you and support you will always truly love you and support you. And they'll understand like your ideas and where you're coming from, and they'll be supportive of the things that you want to, you know, try and go after. So don't hold yourself back from that by any means, because I think you have a lot of really great ideas that this world may need to hear and may need to see come to fruition from you. But just also too, that Spirit really wants you to know that you have the potential to have such a beautiful, abundant life. And so don't hold yourself back in any means. Like, don't ever hold yourself back or feel like you can't accomplish something. You are capable of a lot more than you give yourself credit for, pile number 2. With moonlight coming out here, it's interesting because we talked about intuition with the Queen of Cups here, and that's what this card really exemplifies to me, is allowing yourself to follow your intuitive hits. So the things that come about for you that you're like, I don't know, but your intuition is like, yes, let's go for it, like go for it. And that may be related to some of the ideas that you have as well. But again, I think that you're very intuitive, and I think that if you haven't been tapping into your intuition more and I don't want to necessarily say relying, but like listening to your intuition more, that it's something you definitely need to do, pile number 2. I think it'll be very beneficial for you. And, you know, moonlight also ultimately points to you being able to create whatever you want from life, having a beautiful, abundant life, as long as you're listening to yourself and listening to your intuition. So really take that to heart, pile number 2. You are intuitive. Like, I don't care what you think, you're definitely intuitive. So listen to your intuition. It's there for a reason. And then we have make a vision board and family. So I think that, again, you know, with all of these ideas that you guys have, with how bright you are, how much you spend time in your mind, it may be helpful for you to like organize those things and get them onto a vision board of the things that you're like wanting to accomplish or manifest for yourself. I think that you guys are very powerful manifestors, and you have the ability to bring whatever it is that you want into your reality, pile number 2. So I think it may be helpful for you to kind of decide, okay, like what is it that I really like want to manifest and bring into my life now, and then make a vision board. And maybe you'll be the person that just makes a yearly vision board. Maybe you'll want to make one like every quarter, every like 3 to 4 months, you know, whatever works for you guys, pile number 2. But I think that Spirit just wants you to know that for you it is important to be both mentally and visually stimulated. And I think you already know that based off of what I was saying earlier with what I was seeing with the Page of Swords here. And I do think that you're somebody that gets a lot of intuitive hits from reading and writing. So pay attention to that, and maybe sit down with yourself and just like stream of consciousness kind of decide, okay, this is what I would want to put on my vision board. These are the things that I want to bring into fruition. With family, with number 23 coming out here, I really think, pile number 2, that you guys are ultimately very nostalgic and sentimental at heart. And I think that that makes you very beautiful, very open. I think you really definitely like wear your heart on your hand, your heart on your sleeve, especially with the people that you're comfortable with. And family doesn't have to be like our biological family. If you're not close with your biological family, family can be the people that we've chosen family to be in our life. So our friends, acquaintances, coworkers, whoever like we've chosen as our family, those people are our family. And just spending more time with those people that uplift you and make you feel good and truly love you for yourself, and being grateful for those people. I feel like that's just how you guys bring your light and your beauty into the world, is by being grateful, by spending time with yourself, spending time with others. I feel like the people that you love really refuel you and help recharge you in the best way. And so I think it's really important for you guys to connect with those people and spend time with them. Don't just live in your head all the time, pile number 2. Live with other people as well, because you're very beautiful. People love talking to you. People love your input. People love your support, and just they love your energy. So spend time with those that you know will appreciate you. Before we go here, pile number 2, I do want to go ahead and do our little book divination here to get any last information for you guys. So I like to kind of loosen up my pages here a little bit. Let me make sure. Okay, that's the passage that I got for the last group. Let's see if I get a different one for you guys. Okay, since these are like littler, we'll read for both of the pages here. So the first one that we got is Ally. You took my fears as if they were your own, my hand in your palms as we walked across uncertainty. And then we also got for you Hallow. Be patient and learn the ways of your body. Your soul is a guest that calls your sacred vessel home. So yeah, for you guys, pile number 2, I think that this is just a reminder that depend on the people that you can. Depend on the people that love you. Don't feel like you have to handle everything mentally. Don't feel like you have to handle everything for yourself and like not rely on anybody, because other people really truly love you and they want to be there for you and they want to support you the way that you support them. So allow those people to do that for you. And I think that you know, because again, like I said, you're very intuitive. I think that you know who those people are in your life, who those people are that truly love you and support you. So allow them to. And then with Hallow here, I feel like this is just a reminder too that you have this beautiful, bright, shining soul that lives in your body and uses it as its vessel every day. So don't allow yourself to get so wrapped up in what your vessel looks like or how your vessel is being perceived. Just allow your soul to shine, allow your soul to be what it's meant to be, and other people will be drawn to you by that. Ultimately, the best people that we can bring into our lives are those that appreciate us for who we are and not for the things that we give them or the way that we appear. So I'm gonna leave your reading at that for you guys, pile number 2. I really hope that this resonated for you and allowed you to feel seen and allowed you to see just how beautiful and special you really, really are. So anyway, if you enjoyed this reading, if you can please leave me a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up so it can reach more people, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do put out new pick-a-cards every week. I love you guys so much, and I really appreciate you being here with me today. I hope to see you in the next pick-a-card reading, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Hi there, my beautiful pile number 3s. As a reminder, if you picked the Carnelian, then this is your reading this week, where you are allowing me to hype you up, where you're allowing me to gas you up, be your hype woman. So that's what I'm here to do today for you guys. You may or may not be able to tell this is the next day from when I was filming the previous 2 piles. If you notice on my fingernails that they look like dark and nasty, I promise you I'm not a gross person. I was using like semi-permanent like hair coloring on my husband last night, and it kind of seeped through onto my nails. And so whenever we do this for him, like whenever I'm doing his hair and he wants to do that, it can take like a while for that to actually clear up. So I promise I'm not ill, and I promise that I'm not disgusting. I just can't get the color to completely come out yet. So that's what you're seeing if you're noticing that at all. Another thing is that I did want to mention to you guys, because I forgot to in the intro portion of the video, I do want to do book divination at the end of your reading today. I really enjoyed it when I did it last time, and so I want to do that again today for you guys. And I am just going to be using the Serenity poem book by F.S. Yusuf today to get your divination for the end of the reading. So with all that being said, you guys are also super lucky because my dog is not in the room with me today. So hopefully there won't be a lot of background noise. You may hear my AC like going off. It is really loud today because it's like really, really hot today. I feel like it's just working on overdrive. I'm like just straightening out my mic here, guys. Sorry. So you may or may not hear that. And then my cat may try to like claw at the door in a little bit, I guess we'll see. But just so you know, just like heads up. But anyway, with all that said, let's go ahead and get into your guys' reading today. So for you guys, we got the Healer and the Poet, which I think is very interesting. I just want to say that I think that you guys have a very like amazing way with words. Like you guys are able to, I don't know, it's like you're able to say just the right thing at just the right time for people. And you may not even realize that you're doing it. Like maybe you're just, you know, telling people your opinion or giving them like a solution or an idea, and I think you just have this like impeccable timing that you may not even realize, where you just know how to say the right thing at the right time. And again, I don't think it's always something that you are aware of that you're doing, but other people are listening to you and the things that you say inspire them. Like by looking at these 2 cards, like you're somebody that I feel like could have like a podcast. You could be like a psychologist. You could have a lot of different careers. You could even be somebody that like works in the medical field, that is like a nurse or doctor that's just like really good with talking to patients and like calming them down and making them feel comforted and seen and heard. I just feel like you guys are really, really good with words. You maybe have like a very unique voice that other people enjoy listening to, and maybe you've been told that. Maybe you have like a very soothing, comforting voice, or just like a very different voice that people enjoy listening to. With the healer coming out here too, I feel like you are somebody that, again, you could be healing with your words, but you could also be healing with like your hands, with your touch, with the things that you're doing in your life. You could be a nurse or doctor, you could be a Reiki practitioner, you could be into other like spirituality, but I think that there's a part of you that really enjoys being able to help other people, and when you know that you're doing it, it really gives you some sense of satisfaction, as well as like even when you don't know, or like when people tell you maybe like a couple months after something has occurred, that something that you really said really stood out to them and they really took it to heart. I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but I actually saw this fairly recently, and I thought it was really interesting because I'd never really thought about it like that. So I'm not trying to like bring politics into this, but I just wanted to bring up this interview that I saw, or it was a TikTok video or something, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez here in the US, and she was talking about how she goes about having conversations with people that have differing viewpoints than her, and she mentioned how she really likes to listen to the things that people are saying and allow them to feel heard in like their concerns or their point of view, and then she doesn't go in and like try and correct them or tell them, well, your way of thinking is wrong. She'll then just say, okay, well, this is what I think about this situation, and this is why, like, let me tell you why I think this way. And because she's not coming at people with like this aggressive, attacking mentality, making people feel lesser than or inferior because they don't share her point of view, she said that she has had people come to her after having a conversation and they'll say, you know, I really thought about the things that you said, and I actually agree with you on this perspective or on this point of view. And I really see you as being somebody like that. I think that you're very curious, very open-minded, and you just really like to understand why people believe in certain things, like where their perspective is coming from, and you really just like to share, you know, your perspective, and you don't try and like push it down somebody else's throat. Like, you don't try to push your own agenda, if that makes sense. And again, I wasn't trying to bring politics into it. I just thought that was really, really, really interesting, because it's something that I myself even struggle with, in terms of like getting frustrated when somebody doesn't see things exactly the way that I do, usually politically. So I was like very interested in the way that she had phrased that and like the way that she was talking about it. And so maybe that's something you need to hear. Maybe that's kind of like how you are as well, and maybe that's why that's coming across for me, but it's just something that kind of came up, so I figured I would mention it. But I really do kind of see that in you guys as somebody that you really do heal with your words, with your voice. Some of you, again, may heal with your hands, with like writing. It could even be that you are really good at journaling and healing yourself and like working through your own past traumas and issues by just like getting the written word out on paper or by typing or whatever. And again, you know, the thing is that I just thought of that corny thing, like, you're a poet and you don't even know it because it rhymes, you know, whatever. But I think that you're somebody that could easily end up like writing a poetry book or something just by like taking some of the musings from your own mind and like your own daily journal entries, if that makes sense, and really touching people and allowing people to heal through your words, through your written word, through your spoken word. But yeah, I just think that you're a very, very healing person, and it may not even be something that you realize, but I do think for the majority of you it has to do with the way that you speak and the way that you are. And the thing about both of these archetypal cards is they're very deep. They really delve into the subconscious. They delve into working through a lot of the pain, and especially with the healer, you know, we talk about somebody that's a wounded healer, somebody that works on themselves or continues to heal even though they understand that healing is multifaceted, multi-layered, multidimensional. And even though you may pull back one layer and think that you've worked on that, there are dozens of other layers below it that you still will need to work on, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that we need to spend our whole lives like trying to heal and work on ourselves constantly, but just being able to recognize that, and being able to recognize that there are things that you want to work through, things that you want to improve on, things that you want to be better about. I think that's what's really important. But yeah, both of these archetypes are just like very deep and profound. Like you really, like, it gives me Scorpio vibes. It gives me like, it's giving me like deep waters, like deep still waters. And you know, that still waters run deep type of what is that, like, phrase? Or I don't even know. Don't quote me. I'm not the English person. My husband is. But you know, that ideology of you really do enjoy going deep, and you really do like understand kind of like the deeper inner workings of people's minds. And I think that you want to understand even more. Like you really like to listen to other people's perspectives because you enjoy getting to hear people's deep innermost thoughts. And yeah, I think maybe that's why you're so healing and so open-minded, because you really thoroughly enjoy hearing where other people's perspectives come from and getting deep with people. Like you're not somebody that likes to live on the surface level. You like to get deep. You like deep, meaningful, profound interactions and conversations and relationships. So I could ramble about this all day because I think that these cards are really cool and like really cool paired together. But let's go ahead and get into your guys' tarot cards so I don't keep you here all day. So for you guys, we have the Empress, we have the Moon, we have Death, Rebirth, we have the Two of Swords, we have the Ace of Wands. Let me move this up just a smidge here. And we have the Eight of Wands. Okay. Very interesting, you guys. Let me make sure that we can still see all your cards here for you. Yep, cool. All right, you guys. So I just want to say, I think it's really interesting. We were talking about Scorpio vibes, and you got Death, Rebirth, which is the card that signifies Scorpio in the major arcana in the tarot. So I think that's really interesting. Some of you may be Scorpios, have like heavy Scorpio placements in your chart. You could be a Scorpio North Node. There could be a lot of different facets, or you could just have like a really stacked 8th house. But I think that you are somebody that is going to go through a lot of different like evolution throughout your life, kind of like what we were just talking about with the healer card here, representing all of those like multifaceted layers and dimensions. And I think that for you, your lifetime especially is going to be centered around you kind of continuing to work through and like evolve and change. And I think that it's interesting because I myself, I've mentioned this a million times, but I'm a Scorpio. I have a Scorpio stellium, and I have a Scorpio North Node. And the thing that I've had to get the most comfortable with in my life is change. And I think that that's something that you've gotten the most comfortable with as well. I feel like you guys are so incredible because you just really embrace change. It's not something that really scares you anymore. It's not something you fear. There are certain things that you may still be weary about, as anybody is going to be with change. But I think for the most part, you guys really embrace change. You embrace things being different. You embrace a fresh start, a new perspective. You really embrace like the full evolution of yourself. And you know, the thing that's interesting really about Scorpio too, and why I personally think that Scorpio is represented by death in the tarot, is that if you really look into Scorpio, Scorpio is the only sign that I'm aware of that is supposed to evolve into 3 different stages. So you have the Scorpion, I'm forgetting the one in the middle, so sorry, that's not helpful. And then I know that at the end you're supposed to evolve into the eagle, right? So you guys will have to look up what's in the middle for me, because I truthfully cannot freaking remember. But I know that it starts off with the Scorpion, and then you have like this other like evolutionary point in the middle, and then you end up evolving into the eagle, or that's what you're supposed to do. That's what your goal is. So it's like this constant change and evolution, and like I think it may be the phoenix in the middle. So it's the Scorpion, the phoenix, and the eagle. Don't quote me on that, but look it up. Like, I really want you guys to look it up, and I want you to look into the story behind it, because I think it's really fascinating, and like how essentially all of these different pieces of you that you're supposed to evolve into. And I think that that's why death truthfully is represented by Scorpio, because Scorpio is supposed to go through all of these different evolutions. And I think that's kind of what you're here for, you guys. And I think that's so fucking cool. Like, obviously coming from another Scorpio, I'm a little biased, but like even if you're not somebody that has like a bunch of Scorpio in your chart, or even has Scorpio in your chart at all, I would ask you to look at your birth chart and see where Scorpio falls on your birth chart, like what house Scorpio is in. But you know, I just think that it's really interesting, because I think that one of the like coolest things about you guys is that you just kind of go with the flow, and you roll with the punches, and you understand that the only thing that is consistent in this life is change. And I think that's really cool, you guys. Like, that's really beautiful and incredible. Like, it takes a lot of people a really long time to be comfortable with the idea of change. I mean, shit, there are people that probably have been walking, you know, their path for the last 40 years that are afraid of change. And like, I really do see it, especially in like some people in like the older generations, where they just kind of like refuse to change. They refuse to go to therapy. They refuse to work on themselves. They refuse to quit their job that they've hated for the last 30 years. They refuse to leave their small town that they desperately want to get out of. And that's not you. You're the type that's like, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm freaking out of here. Like, I'm done. I'm reinventing myself. I'm reinventing the wheel. I'm doing different things. And like, that in and of itself is enough to gas you guys up for. So I hope that you understand that. I could talk about this one again all freaking day. So let's move on to some of your other cards here. So I think it's really interesting. If you look here, you know, we got the moon in both of these cards, a full moon in both of these cards. So I think it's like super interesting that happened. With the Empress, you know, this talks about a motherly figure. It talks about somebody that is very nurturing, somebody that's creative, abundant. Like, you're the type of person that can come up with these like crazy creative ideas. And like, again, this could be like focused in like your writing, or like even just like the ideas that run around in your head. And you're really good at like planting your seeds and allowing them to grow within yourself, within other people. And I think that's really cool. You know, I think that you are somebody that people really see as like a nurturing figure, because you're not somebody that tries to push your agenda onto everybody else, kind of like what we talked about. You are there as an ear to listen and to, you know, give your input if it's asked, and if not, to just listen and be there for the people in your life that need you most when they need you most. And I think that's really beautiful, you guys. With the moon here, again, I think that this is pointing to your ability to really get deep. I mean, literally, just like what we were saying, like, you know, we've got deep waters here. Like, I don't even really know where the bottom of this would be going, you know, like the waters look so deep, and you're somebody that's really good about getting deep with yourself, getting deep with others, but not allowing yourself to drown in other people's emotions. Like, you're good at protecting your own energy, and you're good at not allowing other people's like negative energy or negative thoughts or anything like that affect you too much. Not to say that you're not empathetic or compassionate, because I really do believe that you are, guys, but I think that you do a really, really good job of not allowing, you know, other people's negativity to affect you in a severe way. And I think that this is why for some of you, I said maybe you're like into psychology, or you are a psychologist or psychiatrist, because you're really good at getting to the bottom of things, like delving into the subconscious mind, delving into people's like self-limiting beliefs and, you know, what they believe is possible for them, allowing them to kind of see past the illusions of that other people are putting on, seeing past other people's facades. But you're not somebody that is going to like drown yourself for someone else. Does that make sense? Like, you're not going to, you're there to help, you're there to provide support, you're there for people, but you're not going to allow them to like bring you down to like these terrible, awful depths that you can't get back out of. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But yeah, I just think that this is pointing to the fact that you guys are really deep and like super intuitive, like especially with the moon coming out here and the 2 of Swords and the Ace of Wands. I feel like you guys are just so intuitive, and like you guys are really cool. Let me just say, you guys are really freaking cool, because you're the type of person like that I'm seeing as somebody that is just super intuitive, super like, you always, like I said, you always have like the right thing to say at the right time, and you don't even realize it. You're just kind of like out there living life, like living your best life, and you just so happen to come in contact with people and say something that they needed to hear that day. Like, I feel like you are definitely a channel for the universe to like get through to certain people, and you always like have the right thing to say. And you're just like very intuitive almost about what people need to hear. And it's like you do it, again, like I said, you do it and you don't even freaking realize it. Sorry, I needed a drink there. But especially with like the 2 of Swords here, you know, the more and more that I've looked at this card in this deck, to me, it seems like the crows are like antagonizing this woman that is blindfolded. Like, they're all up in her face. They're antagonizing her. She's blindfolded. She can't see what the hell is going on. But you see how she's not getting like agitated at all? She's just kind of standing there and feeling things out and sensing things out. And she's not allowing them to get to her. And again, I think this goes back to with what I was trying to say here with the moon, where it's like, you don't allow other people to get to you. You don't allow other people's energy to consume you. You are still your own person. You're still able to navigate through these waters, through your intuition, and make like the best possible decisions for you. And I really do think that you're great at using your intuition, but I think that you're great at having a level of balance there, where you do listen to your logical mind, but you understand that in some situations you may need to lean more on your intuition, and in some situations you may need to lean more on your logical mind. But again, I really get the sense that overall you're super intuitive. You really don't even realize how intuitive you are. And I think that's part of why you're so good at being able to provide advice to people, or, you know, tell them what they need to hear when they need to hear it, which is a gift in and of itself, to be able to like not constantly put your foot in your mouth. You know, you're just like really good at that. It's like easy breezy for you. With the Ace of Wands coming out here, you know, with this deck in particular, this to me really reminds me of like someone opening their third eye. So again, pointing to like intuition for you, but I really think that you are like really feisty still. Like, you're fiery. You have this, I don't know, like this indescribable quality, guys. Like, you guys are really freaking cool. Like, I can't even fully describe how amazing you are, because I don't even know if I have the vocabulary to do so. Like, you guys are so cool. And you just like, I don't know, I just get so much water fiery vibes here. Like, I really wouldn't like ask you to look at your birth chart and like see, maybe you have like a really fiery like Mars, or I don't know. I just feel like there's a part of you that's just like driven and passionate and like a go-getter, and that's why I feel like the 8 of Wands is coming out, because you like take action. You take action quickly and you don't hesitate on things. Maybe you take a second to like make a decision for yourself, but as soon as you know it's the right one for you, you act on the things that you are passionate about, the things that like light you up and make you feel alive, and you're not afraid to do that. Again, like playing into you not being afraid of change, not being afraid of like doing different things, going against the grain. Like, you guys are really freaking cool. Like, I literally just have the chills right now. But you guys are amazing. Like, I don't think you guys realize how like special and how amazing you really are. But yeah, that's really what I'm seeing here with your tarot cards. I don't know how long I've been talking. I feel like it's been forever. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the rest of your oracle cards here too, so then we can still do your book divination. So for the rest of your oracle cards here, we got Victory, we got Spirit of Place, we got Sing, and we got Use Your Hands. Okay. So for these 2 cards here, these are the ones that you probably will recognize. Excuse me. Let me not talk over myself. These are probably the cards that you'll recognize from the card selection intro video. Sorry, I had to burp there. So for these cards, my goal was to get more information from Spirit as to like how you guys can better take care of yourselves, how you can show yourself love and kindness and gentleness, and how you can like be your most effective like badass self in the world by like, you know, providing yourself with these levels of care. So we'll get into that here in a minute for you guys, but first I just want to touch on these 2 cards. So we got Victory here and we got Spirit of Place. And did you notice how we've got like all 4s here, and then you got 45 here, and you've got like, so this reduces to 8, this is 8, you've got a 4 here, you've got 45 here. So I don't know, 4 is maybe really important to you guys. Like, maybe you see 4 for 4 a lot, I don't know. But anyway, I think it's interesting here with you getting Victory and like this being represented by Aries, because I think this really points to the Ace of Wands and the 8 of Wands, like we were talking about, with you just being very fiery and passionate and a go-getter, and you just take the freaking bull by the reins, and you don't care. You just bull by the horns, horse by the reins, whatever, you know what I mean. You don't care. You just go after it. As soon as you've got like your mindset on something, you go for it. And you are somebody that doesn't mind playing the long game, because you know you're going to be successful either way. But you just like go, you jump headfirst into things. You don't wait around. You are kind of like that person that's like, I'll learn as I go, but I'm going to start. And with both of these cards actually too, they actually both talk about authenticity in a way, especially with Spirit of Place. It talks about how your authenticity is your greatest strength that you have. You being yourself and being comfortable to be yourself and express who you are, guys, is your biggest strength that you have. So don't ever let anybody stifle you, because you guys are freaking incredible. Like, I've told you that a million times. I think you guys are cool as hell. And you don't want to show up in this world in any capacity other than who you are, because that is how you shine here. Especially with you having the healer card, especially with you being the poet, with you being your most genuine, authentic self. That is how you spread your light into the world. That is how you are your best version of you. So don't stop being who you are to satisfy anybody else. And that's also what Victory talks about, is for you not to worry about what everybody else wants, what everybody else thinks, what everybody else, you know, what everyone else's opinion is or input is. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to go after? Who do you want to be? That's what these 2 cards talk about to me. And you guys, like, again, I really think that you have the ability to accomplish and do whatever the hell it is you want in your life, because you're charismatic, you're kind, you're fiery. You've got like this edge to you that I think really kind of entices people and draws them in, because I know I love some fire. I know I love a little chaos. And I think that that is kind of what you bring to the table. You're somebody that can be super nurturing and kind, but you're also somebody that people don't want to cross. So just keep showing up as you in the world. Fuck what everybody else says. And then with sing here and use your hands, I mean, we kind of have been talking about this the whole reading. That's why I laughed a little bit when I laid them down. Sing is really talking about you using your voice. So again, use your voice, speak up, be genuine, be yourself, write down how you feel, talk about how you feel. You know, it's just really important for you to, if you like to sing, great, but use your voice and speak your mind and continue to just kind of impart pieces of wisdom to people around you. And again, you're really good already about not shoving things down people's throat. Continue to do that. Be, you know, the AOC in the situation where you're like, you know, I totally see where you're coming from. This is my opinion and this is why. And leave it at that. You don't have to have a confrontation with everybody about everything, but by you just speaking your mind, using your voice, whether it be by writing or actually like publicly speaking or talking to people, you change people around you. And with use your hands, again, we talked about you being a healer. We talked about how for some of you, this can be focused on you using your hands. And again, you could already be involved in the medical world. You could be like somebody that practices Reiki or wants to. But you using your hands are very healing. You have healing hands. So use your hands more. And also, you know, just do things with your hands that you enjoy. Cooking, doing ceramics, doing art, doing whatever, writing. Use your hands, use your voice, guys. Let's go ahead before it gets too late to go ahead and do your book divination reading here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of loosen up my pages here and then flip to a random page. Okay. So we have for you, take a chance. I tell myself endlessly that I am not capable, but these are lies I fall into because I am afraid that there is a chance of failing. And then we also have remit. While there is still sadness in me, there are also glimpses of happiness and light, moments I wish and know can return indefinitely. I really like both of these for you guys. With take a chance, again, like I was getting a little preachy at the end, you guys, you are capable of so much. You are so beautiful and you are capable of anything it is that you want in life. You already have a lot of the tools that you need to be successful. Take the chance on whatever it is you're wanting to do. If it's something that you're passionate about, if it's something that lights you up, something you truly enjoy, and you want to like put that out there in the world, like you are a freaking wildfire. Go for it. Don't hold yourself back ever for anybody. Be you and be your true authentic self and you will completely shine. And then with remit, again, you know, you have such light and such beauty and such happiness inside you. And even though there are those sad parts, there are those darker parts, the fact that you even acknowledge they're there is huge. The fact that you even acknowledge that you have that darkness, you have that sadness within you, that's more than most people can say. And you understand, again, more than anybody, that change is the only constant thing we have in this lifetime. So even when you go through your bouts of sadness, anxiety, depression, know that that is only going to be for a period in your life. That's not for forever. And I think that you do know that. I think you really do deeply know that, and hold on to that because it is the truth and it is your truth. So anyway, file number 3, thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I really thoroughly enjoyed this one, you guys. You guys are amazing. You're incredible. You are worthy. You're beautiful. You deserve so much in this life, so don't settle for less than what you deserve. And I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here. Again, if you enjoyed this reading, please leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach as many people as possible. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick-a-card readings every week. I love you guys so much. I'm wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you guys in next week's reading. Thanks. Bye.